Hello, good morning. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. We are back again on our Thursday edition of your favorite morning program. So wherever you are, thank you. I mean, a cup of coffee to you, although we are sending a virtual cup of coffee to you. Yes, but good morning. Cup of coffee is cup of coffee. And I'm with Julden Jai. Good morning.
Good morning, Ibrahim. Good morning to our viewers, and good morning to Mr. Adi.
Good morning to you both. I apologize now if people hear slightly nasal quality. I've got a bit of a cold, so. But yeah, other than that, I'm fine.
Imagine
you are
sitting,
not alone in that.
Imagine sitting beside me. You'll be blending on that chair like,
Yeah.
green.
But you always mention this every time I wear
Yeah,
this.
Yeah.
it kind of
But,
look alike.
that's
But
why
yours is lighter.
Yeah,
than-
but it's a
I
nice
have
color.
one that's that shade
That
of
is
green.
similar
It's,
to
yeah,
this
yeah,
chair.
almost the same shade of green.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Is that APRC green or something? I don't
Yeah,
know.
this is it sea green or?
No. It's
Oh, that's
not
not sea green.
No.
Okay,
No.
okay. So, Mr. Adedrame,
Yeah.
we've seen you love your haftan so much. I mean, you can come the whole week with haftan.
When I checked, I could come almost half the year every day with haftans if I wanted to. Yeah, I was quite surprised at how many I had. I've obviously just been buying them, but I have a tailor who comes to the office and kind of measures me, so they've kind
Yeah.
of they're tailored to my
And,
shape
you
and
know,
size.
they
so
have
it's good.
comfortable, you know,
Yeah,
to
they're
wear.
nice.
And they're comfortable to
Yeah.
wear,
They
of
are,
course. And you know, I'm in Africa. When I was in the UK, I didn't get many chances to wear. You know, somebody might make a party and say, oh, this time it's an Africana night, and that's the theme. And then that might be the only time I might wear something that was, you know, you might deem, you know, well, kaftans. Very, very rarely. And of course, the weather isn't conducive over there either. So now that I'm here, every excuse and every opportunity I wear. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Adedrame. And Julia, let's dig into the African code.
So our African code this morning is smooth seas do not make skillful sailors.
So thieves do not make
I
skillful
love
sailors.
it. I love it. You know, and
I
it's
think
true.
I get it.
I think this proverb is coming back here.
Really?
I haven't
For the
heard it
second
before.
or third time
Okay, I've not
on
heard
this
it before. Maybe I
program.
wasn't listening when you had it the first time.
Coming
But
back. Maybe you were
I
not
love
on
it.
set
I
yet.
love it because essentially it's about if you want to be good at something,
Right.
you know, taking the easy route is never going to be. Because imagine if you're a sailor and every time you go out the seas are calm and so on. You need the rough seas to test your skills, to improve your skills, to kind of make you up your game, so that you know you don't have to wait till the seas are rough
Yeah.
before you then say, oh no, you know, I don't know how to cope with this, because it means that when the tough times come,
Right.
just like in anything, you know, if you haven't, you know, some people say if you haven't struggled, then you don't appreciate the success.
Success, right.
Like somebody who, you know, I wish I could remember his name now, a Jewish violinist, you know, when he headlined at the Carnegie Hall, that was like the height of, you know, fame and everything else. And somebody said, you know, how do you feel about being an overnight success? And he says, yes, it's taken me 40 years of practice to become an overnight success. So because they don't see all the hard work,
Right.
all they see is the finished, polished, but the hard work is what led to that smooth thing at the end. And so, yes, if you take it literally for a sailor, you know, if every time you go out the seas are smooth and so on, what happens when the seas are rough? And then you
They
don't
have
know.
storms.
But, you know, so if you had to deal with rough seas, then you can deal with anything.
All right.
And any eventuality that comes. And I think you can expand that to beyond the literal case of the sailor into various other aspects of one's life. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Balde?
I mean, let's filter that down to life itself. I
Mm.
mean, you know, you have to go through so many things. I mean, before you learned what it means to be at ease at some point.
Yeah.
Life itself, I mean, it's not smooth all the time. You know,
Exactly.
it goes up and down. That's the seas. Sometimes the seas are calm, but sometimes they are wild as well, you know, with a lot of waves. So it's important, I mean, for you to sometimes go through certain situations to know how you're going to handle, you know, the future situation as well.
Yeah.
You know, when you are living and everything is smooth, everything is good, at the end of the time, you know, when hardship comes, what are you going to do?
How do you
carried
cope with it?
away.
How do you cope with it? Yeah. How
Yeah.
do you handle it?
Carried
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think even our Quran will tell us when there is difficulty, there will be
There
ease.
comes ease.
Yeah,
You understand?
Yeah.
So difficulty and ease, it comes together.
There is always light at the end of the tunnel.
You hope.
Right.
Yes,
Always.
and as the old joke goes, you just hope that the light at the end of a tunnel is not a train coming towards to hit you. But you know, yes, I mean that's kind of the thing. It sums it up: light at the end of the tunnel. You know, because the darkness and then
Yeah.
into the light, the struggle that then leads to the success. So yeah,
Yeah.
I like this proverb. But as
It's
you
a
said,
good one. It's a good
and
one.
and
I
what's
mean,
your
Let's
what's
hear
your
from
take on
Julie.
it?
I think it's similar to yours. I mean, we have to encounter challenges in life to be able to actually navigate through the things that we go through. Sometimes if you're in your comfort zone and you're not out, you don't force yourself to go out of your comfort zone, it's always very difficult. The things that a lot of people achieve is through years of hard work, resistance, confidence, building your confidence and also your self-esteem. But again, if you have it the easy way, you don't even tend to value it.
Yeah.
But every difficulty, every challenge gives you that experience, gives you something to learn from, that lesson to learn from, which I think it's good, because no individual actually goes through the same challenge or the same situation and handle it the same way.
No,
I want to
because
believe
we're
you.
all different. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
people are always different. So yeah, resilience also, it tends to build your resilience as an individual. You have to be someone who is strong. But if you are not, if you don't go through challenges, it's always very, very difficult to actually build your resilience as an individual. Resilience is not only about environment, but you as an individual, how are you able to withstand difficult moments, situations, and you're not carried away. Oftentimes, when we are confronted with situations or difficult scenarios, we're always carried away, because we let in the emotions to cloud our judgments. But when you're steady, when you take your time, when you're calm, and then you reflect, you tend to really see the light at the end of the day. It's not always about the difficulty, but when things come up, we always tend to focus on the difficult side of it, because we're human.
Yeah,
You know, we don't see the opportunity in every situation, but there is an opportunity in every situation that we find ourselves in life, no matter how hard it is. If you just take your time and check properly, and if you're patient enough to actually look at the opportunity or the blessing in that challenge, that you're obviously you will see it. But as humans, like I say, it's easier said than done.
and we're good at complaining. I mean, before anything this morning, we were
Right.
just all gathered around, you know, our tables, and you know, before work had started properly, everybody was getting around making coffee, and then we started discussing things like, there's an area in Conakry called Matoto.
Matoto, yeah.
Yes, the market. And the government had told people 6 months ago, we're going to clear this market because we want to widen the road. Nobody paid attention. On Monday, they went in with heavy duty machinery. They smashed everything, you know, and that is, government is saying, look, this is progress we're talking about. Yes, you have your little market and so on. We had told you to move, because you know, people were complaining, and I was surprised they carried it on RTG, you know, the Guinean national television. People blasting the government, you know, which you think, you know, they might be worried, but no, people just let their feelings flow.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But the officials were there. They've been very professional. They said, look, here's what the notice we sent 6 months ago telling everybody to move. You haven't moved. We're clearing everything. They smashed shops, stalls,
It's the same
concrete,
scenario in the
corrugated
Gambia.
iron structures. Everything was just mashed to the ground, you know. And they said, if this country has to progress,
Absolutely.
this is
Drastic measures.
kind of the price of that.
You know,
Yeah.
there are
And we told you.
certain infrastructure. I mean, they don't even look good when it comes to the development of a country. I mean, putting a corner market somewhere, you know, at a very
So
at
Gambian.
a very, you know, busy spot where even if visitors come to the country, this is what they're going to see.
Yeah.
So it's important for you to, I mean, prioritize, you know, development over interest, I mean, self-interest, individual.
I mean, in the
of
Guinea
that.
case, they also said that for health and sanitation, and the place looked filthy, you have to say, and the point you're making, that not just for visitors, but for ourselves, we should live in a clean and environment. Why shouldn't we? You know, and so, yes, as I said, they smashed it. In fact, I was going to do a story
Yeah,
about
I
it.
saw a
might
woman
still.
complaining. I mean, I watched a video of a woman complaining, they've smashed my shop, now I cannot sell, I'm a family woman.
That's it.
You know, those are the kind of things that
But
happen.
even in the Gambia, similar scenario.
Well, I was going to
happened.
mention the Gambia one with the Operation Clear the Roads. We had similar situation where people said, you know, and the officials again, they were very professional. People said they were a bit aggressive, but they told people that, look, if you tell me you were given permission by somebody at physical planning, then you bribed that person, because that person at physical planning knows that you were not supposed to build within a certain width of an existing road in case there's plans for future development. But people went, as we do here, you know, you go for your passport, you go for your ID, you go for your planning permission, you give them a little something and they give you something you're not even entitled to, you know. And so they said, no, I'm sorry, and they smashed it. And people, oh, you should leave them, you know, you're not, look, no, you built illegally, I'm sorry.
Mr. Adedrame, I saw speed toward Africa, and, you know, the dynamics is kind of changing.
Making headlines.
You know, I watched a video last night where Americans, some of them were crying, telling them, okay, they lied to us about Africa.
Yeah.
We thought Africa was just a jungle. Africa
a
was
country.
all about animals.
And many of them thought it was just a country.
Yeah, I mean, I
mean,
got that.
but to me, that's just laziness,
So
because in this day and age, with internet and so on, you can do your own research. You don't need iShow
When the
speed.
guy got to Ethiopia,
that
was really amazing.
mind-blowing for him.
Ethiopia,
you can feel the
oh my!
African.
I learned that Ethiopia was the only country that was not colonized.
The Italians tried, but they were defeated.
They couldn't succeed.
They had a presence there for a while, but they didn't colonize them.
Yeah.
So what we now call Ethiopia and Eritrea, you'll see lots of Italian structures were built there when Mussolini, the dictator, was leading Italy. Then Ethiopia was called Abyssinia, and he related it to Abyssinia from the Bible, from biblical times.
Even the Quran mentions Abyssinia.
And of course, the thing about, when you hear people say that, Europeans brought Christianity to Africa, you only have to take them to Ethiopia. The churches in Ethiopia are older than any churches anywhere in Europe. So they had Christianity long before Europeans ever had it. So they didn't bring it to Africa. I mean, the colonizers then brought it to countries like Gambia, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, and so on, Kenya, and so on. But Ethiopia had it centuries before they ever did. So people need to know their history.
So, I mean, his tour really rejuvenated a lot of things, and it changed the way people are going to see Africa.
I must admit, it kind of passed me by, except that I know the Buba and Alaji and a few others in the office were kind of obsessed with it.
I've been following.
And followed it every day, and so that
and
I became aware of it.
Any page you turn on Facebook, social media, it's him.
I became
with his team. He taught Nigeria, he went to Senegal, he went to Morocco.
21 countries, I believe.
He went to different, Liberia,
He didn't come to Gambia for some reason.
No, he didn't know. But
for some
he said his second phase will be Gambia.
Hopefully.
Did he?
He mentioned that.
Right.
So you can see how it's changing now, how people are going to think about Africa. How this is good. In fact, some of the tourism boards in Africa, I think, tour, we will do better than even their marketing.
Yeah, of course, because if you look at the amount of followers he has and the amount of people who followed the tour, it was a brilliant strategy by him to go on that tour, because the only thing I knew about him before was that he was this big Cristiano Ronaldo fan. And I remember seeing him when he was, doing that to Cristiano. So I wasn't paying much attention to it, I have to be honest, but I became aware of all the publicity he was getting and the reaction he was getting in America, as you rightly say. For many African Americans, he opened their eyes, and as I said, to me that's laziness, because in the day of the internet, you don't need somebody to open your eyes for you. You can go and you can check out almost every African country, they've got a national broadcaster that broadcasts stuff from those countries and so on. Just type in, you know, Mozambique national broadcaster, for example, Televisão de Moçambique. They're publishing all the stuff about the floods, but you also see different sides. Same in Guinea, same in Benin, Burkina Faso, Nigeria. Gambia, you can come to QTV, you know, and find out about the Gambia.
Yeah, so some of the reactions are very... I'm telling you, I mean, I wish we could...
And he finally got citizenship in Ghana.
We could...
I'm so fucking irritated.
Don't,
Yeah,
you
so-
shouldn't have played it. Yeah.
So sometimes, I wish we would have put this together. So
Not
that
that one,
you would have seen,
with the F word.
yes, a lot of videos of reactions from
Yeah.
different people
Yeah.
from around the world. Very interesting.
It has been very interesting, and it's been, and as I said, for me, it's a kind of eye-opener as well, that a lot of people were saying, I never knew this about Africa.
Oh, yeah.
In 2026? Damn, where have you been? Under a rock?
I'm telling
You know,
you.
but it's good if it leads to a kind of positive
Why
thing.
is Ethiopia in 2018? That's
Because they're using a different calendar they're using a different calendar, and even their Christmas is different to the rest of the Christian calendar. So not just them, but a lot of what they call Orthodox Church,
okay.
they're using a different calendar. But of course, in Islam,
Yeah, we have our
600 years
calendar too.
behind. So behind, 2026. So
you are right.
yeah, not just Ethiopia, 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll take a look at some of the papers. We'll be back.
Naine dake network koto mi yalonko wole warta nyimbanko kan adung adabe soniaring wole nyama. Imuna fang telefono la mi yalonko abe seniaring adung internet wobe tariaring. Nyindung kiusel dorne sinyin nati aleno. Ibori yela kiusel line ota. Customer care mi suti atima. B. Kiusel network ko mi warta network ko beti adung adabe soniaring. Kiusel sunu boss. Ntolenga silo walang dulia bulan noma.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sinubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, so we are back. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. Now let's head to the Point newspaper. Bah confirms missing Kamalo files recovered.
Tell us about it.
Yeah.
You're the one who read the headline.
So
What is this referring to?
It will be important for us to know what are the files,
Yeah.
you know.
Why did you read-
what
why
files
did you read it?
what files were found, you
Yeah,
know.
quite.
But a teacher gets 20 years in prison for rape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
so
obviously from a court case.
mhm.
And then you have Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Gambia, arrests 48 with cocaine, kush, and others, I guess, other drugs.
Cocaine. I mean, when you mention cocaine, sometimes I feel like, oh, okay, is cocaine still is cocaine rolling in Gambia? I've never seen it with my naked eyes. You know
I've
that?
never seen it.
So
I don't think I want to either. but, you know.
When you talk about marijuana or you know, cannabis, I've seen those ones. But cocaine, the powder. I mean,
There are people all over the world who will try anything and everything. I mean, I think thankfully for us, it's not something that's prevalent. It's not. It's not
it's
everywhere.
not common.
It's not common. So that's a good thing, and long may that be the case, because I don't think we want it to be. It's quite a deadly drug. So yeah, let it stay away from our door.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
What else?
Japan signs over 200 million yuan food assistance agreement.
Yeah. We have our foreign minister there in the picture.
Right.
We were going to cover the story, but we only had like 4 or 5 pictures, sadly, of the event. We didn't have any video obviously, yeah. And so that was a thing, but it sounds like a lot. I couldn't convert it to dollars or dallases, but it sounds like it could be quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to find out what sort of food assistance we're talking about, because as we all know, for many years we've been talking about heading towards food self-sufficiency, and that can only come from within, you know. Although, you know, we need external help sometimes with some of, you know, updating our farming methods and so on, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm not sure.
So the Fourier newspaper, victim tells court 3 boys raped her.
So,
So the
obviously,
matter is in court.
yeah.
They will decide whether it's true or not.
Yeah, yeah. And
know.
I see that's the main story on the Fourier. Yeah.
So those
that's
that do, I mean, that commit these rape cases at some point, don't they know the stiff measures that are put, you know, to people that are found wanting?
people
about-
found wanting. Now, this morning again we were discussing about corruption. You know, we started talking about anti-corruption, and people were saying if you give stiff penalties, then people will not be corrupt. And so I gave the example of China just last month, where they executed several people, some of whom were millionaires. They were already rich, but they wanted to be richer. Even executing people doesn't stop people wanting to be corrupt. So stiff penalties for rape is not going to stop rape. Those who commit such an offense should be given the stiffest penalties, of course, but it's not going to stop it. If somebody is that way inclined, they'll do it because they think they can get away with
Yeah,
it, just
well,
like with corruption.
My other problem
In
to the
China,
other
yeah,
side
so-
is how are you going to justify, I mean, rape itself?
How can anybody?
I mean,
Nobody
if-
will try and
if-
Nobody
justify it.
ju-
Nobody
tries
will
to
try.
justify.
Nobody will try and justify it.
Right.
Nobody. No more that you would justify any other crime. Like you go to rob somebody, instead of just taking their money, you stab them and kill them, or you shoot them. You don't try and justify it, and you wouldn't even dare try and justify it. People do wicked things because they're wicked, and you know, given different situations, we can all perpetrate different types of wickedness.
Right.
You know, so yeah, but nobody tries to justify it. You can't. What are you
So-
going to say? I mean, if these people had all pleaded guilty, we might have been saved the agony of a court case where the victim has to recount her ordeal.
Right.
But I suspect they pleaded not guilty, and so we have to go through the matter of you know, a trial. Yeah.
So another story on our Facebook page, ECOWAS lifts sanctions, fully reintegrates Guinea after democratic transition.
I think we saw that coming, and we heard the plea that was made by His Excellency. President Barrow was there, and when he came back at the airport,
Right.
he was talking about, you know, the rest of ECOWAS should embrace Guinea now that Guinea has chosen a democratic path. There are several aspects to this. One was, of course, before the election, Guinea was led by a military junta, and the Alliance of Sahel States were trying to get them to join.
To join them.
And Doumbouya said, no, we're going to go down the democratic path. And it's not without its flaws, let's be honest, because yes, the elections went ahead and President Barrow came, said they were free, fair, etc., etc. Some, myself, would take issue with that because he banned several, 62 political parties.
That's the Guinea election?
In Guinea election. He banned some of the most serious contenders who would have given him a run for his money. Yes, he's popular, we know, because frankly, he's all you see on TV every day. Why would he not be popular? Because, you know, and so they had, leading up to the election, they had this thing where I think 16 candidates, they were all given 5 minutes to convince the nation
And
as
he
to why you should vote for me. He decided he didn't even bother taking those 5 minutes. He didn't need to because he's had several hours.
He's already done it.
Confident.
He's done it already.
Right.
But it was quite, I watched it, it was quite interesting. Some of them were rubbish. You know, they didn't come across very well. And, you know, he didn't see the need to kind of indulge in that sort of thing. But it was good that the national broadcaster allowed people to actually sell themselves to the nation, saying, this is who I am and this is why you should vote for me. But as I said, Doumbouya didn't take the opportunity to do that because he's on TV every day, all day. So he won, huge majority. And yeah, so we can see now why I think it was inevitable that ECOWAS will say, you've done what we've said you should do, hold elections, and then go on the democratic path, you know.
But do you think Doumbouya should come and preach us about democracy, you know, proper governance? I mean, he took over by military coup, so...
Preach to whom? He's not preaching to anybody.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I mean, democratically, sometimes when coup leaders, I mean, assume power, then they want it to be calm again. Let them return to democracy. Let them try to maintain the peace again. I mean, you just
He did what Yahya Jammeh did.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They are all in the same boat.
He transitioned to a civilian government. He's done that transition. Museveni came to power after a Bush war. He's been there now 38, 40 years, you know. So you can't say, oh, you know, you've done something wrong, because, you know, they've done what people said they should do. They took their mandate to the people and said, vote for me, and the people voted for them. Whether you like them or not, that's a different thing.
Right.
But you can't criticize him for, you know, he's not still in the barracks, he's not still, although I was quite intrigued that all the official posters in all the government offices still have him in his army uniform, even now, because I even saw a cabinet meeting and it was him, you know, they had his portrait with the army uniform still on, so I suspect they'll change all of that. And I saw one where he had all the cabinet and they were all wearing Ashobi, kind of African attire. That was quite nice, but that was just a one-off, because in the subsequent ones I saw them all, everybody dressed differently. But yeah, but he's taken the democratic path, and I'm not sure one can criticize him for that. I think we just have to observe how he proceeds.
Well, there was a Guinean man that asked me, he said, boy, how do you see our Doumbouya? I said, oh boy, Doumbouya is not going now. You people are going to stay with Doumbouya for many years. Maybe your grandchildren will witness Doumbouya's time. I'm telling you.
This is true. And you're talking about, look what's happening in Guinea-Bissau. Just a few days ago, they announced that there will be elections this year. And they've announced that both the kind of the head of state now, of the junta, nor his deputy will be allowed to stand. And we'll wait and see whether that happens when the election comes.
I highly doubt
because
that.
they're very good at breaking their word, as Doumbouya broke his word. You know, when they announced the coup, he famously said, none of us will be contesting anything.
He just want to make
sure. He said,
sure.
we are soldiers, we are men of our word. But obviously their word can be bent and twisted. He did not only contest for something, he contested for the highest office in the land.
There's something wrong with that seat. I mean, whenever you're there, you tend to change how you sounded before.
We've seen it
We've seen it here. We've seen the 3 years.
We've seen 22 years of Jammeh. We saw 30 years of Jawara, and who knows how many years of Barrow. It's not an easy thing to give up.
It's not. I mean, literally having anything in life.
And people don't want to give it up. You know, if you enjoy it, they stay. But as we saw with Jammeh, the ultimate term limiter is the electorate. They can vote you out. They voted Jammeh out. Nobody put a gun and forced him out. The people went to the ballot box, kicked him out.
That is when we said it was enough. You understand?
And that's so when people think it's enough, they will get rid of you, whoever you are, if they're given the chance to vote.
Well, if you think it's not enough, come on, we still continue.
Go to the ballot box.
And so we have another story.
The migrant story?
No, this one is two Sierra Leonean men face charges over assault on police possession of Kush.
Oh, okay.
Foroya, on the Foroya.
Of course, this plays into the narrative in the Gambia that it's only Sierra Leoneans who sell Kush.
According to what he said, Kush is from Sierra Leone.
Yep, yeah, like we invented it. Please just behave. You know, it's a serious issue in Sierra Leone. The addiction to it, and yes, sad to say that a lot of the people who've been arrested with Kush bringing it into the Gambia have been Sierra Leoneans is quite depressing. There are other drugs which, you know, they're not involved in, but Kush seems to be their thing. And yes, we wait and see what happens in this particular case. You know, somebody being arrested is not the same as being tried and convicted. So we'll wait and see whether that is what happens
For
at
me,
the end.
I sometimes have issues with newspaper headlines. You
No,
know?
a headline is a headline. It's
Yeah.
meant to tease you.
Yeah.
It's not meant to tell you the whole story.
Sorry.
So what's your issue now? Bad grammar or what?
Two Sierra Leoneans.
Right.
I mean, everybody do. I mean, we many people. I mean, still trade drug in the Gambia.
No, but that's why I said that this plays into this narrative here in the Gambia, that it's somebody even said to me in the office last week
Stereotypes.
that, oh, I hear that all the Kush that's in the Gambia has been brought from Sierra Leone. So that headline is playing into that kind of prejudice somewhat. So yes, when you say you have a problem with it, you know, because
Maybe two men.
I was going to say,
Two
had
men
they been
arrested.
two Gambians, it would have just said two men.
Two men, but
He
not
wouldn't
two
have said two
Gambians.
Gambian men. But I tell you, if they were Guineans, he would have
Yeah.
said Guineans. If they were Senegalese, he would have said Senegalese. But if they were Gambians, he would have
Yeah.
just said two men.
Two men. I have a
And
problem.
then you'd have to read the story to find out they were two Gambian men.
Who are these men?
You know,
Yeah. So I mean, Julde, you were
You
talking
wanted to
about
bring
the
the
migrants.
migrant
The
story.
migrant story.
Yet another
it's-
one.
Yeah, on our Facebook page, and it reads
Yeah.
over 250 migrants feared dead after boat disappears off Gambian coast.
Yeah, 160 something
War.
of them are Gambians. It's, you know, it is depressing that we keep hearing these stories.
Of women and children.
Time and time again, because this boat, it was over a month since it left,
Yeah.
and nobody who knows anybody who was on it has gotten confirmation that they've arrived anywhere. So that's why it says presumed dead. We pray for a miracle, of
Yeah,
course, but
what happened?
you know, it's unlikely that you know, a month and a bit after, I think December the 5th is when it set off. We expect the worst, sadly, and we keep hearing it, but it doesn't stop people. 1,000 people could drown this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And next week another 1,000 will be trying to, on that same journey. It's now unstoppable.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
you know,
that
friends, somebody contacted me on Saturday and said, can you explain why these people do this? But he said, why the Gambia? He said, and why is it so prevalent? I said, I have no idea. I mean, the person who can tell me that is you know, before we used to say it was economic reasons and so on. But then when you see on a boat half the people are employed and half are unemployed, it's obviously not just economic reasons.
Yeah.
It's gone beyond that. And it's not an easy thing. You can't be simplistic about trying to explain it, because it's not a simple answer to
not.
it. When they published a list of 100 people in one incident, more than half of them were people who had jobs. So it's not just about, you know, there might be jobs that don't pay well, but they had jobs. And you had others who had no jobs, and of course for them it's an opportunity. They think, you know, I'll go there and I'll get a job, however menial, because if you have no qualifications, you have no expertise in a particular thing.
You will have
what
to
else?
go and clean.
And you know, clean toilets or whatever, you know.
You know, when you tell people, okay, the Europe, when you go, you clean toilets, people think it's a joke. You know, sometimes they
until you
think
go there and you see
they
our
think it's a
people
joke.
Cleaning toilets.
cleaning toilets in numbers and getting well paid for it. One has to be honest, and you know, I think that's why. But if you don't have any qualifications academically or any even
And you need to survive.
or a particular skill, and you need to survive, and you don't want to go on the street begging, you will accept something. You will
Absolutely, yeah.
accept anything.
Yes.
And for some of them,
It's
say,
better for me to go and clean toilets than begging.
Yeah,
Right.
quite.
Yeah, I can
You know,
do that. I can
Because
do
you
that.
know that you work and you sweat, and what you earn is what keeps you and feeds you. So yeah, there's kind of dignity in working.
Yes.
You know, even in that job, because you're not begging, you're not depending on the state for a handout or anything like that. It's from the sweat of your brow, and you shall eat bread, as it says.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, interesting. Let's see.
Yeah.
A relative of mine also was among the people that passed last week, that Tunisia incident. you know. So the family, I mean, were like, okay, is he still alive or not alive? Maybe it's their boat or not their boat. But the guy, there was a guy that was lucky to escape. That was the guy that said, okay, that boat capsized and all of them died. I was the only one alive. You know? So it wasn't really easy for the family.
And for me, the tragedy is that when people hear that, they don't think of the 100 who died. They think of the one guy who survived, and they think that will be them. And then the next time, you know, as I said 100 times on here, when we had people in my office that we interviewed who had been rescued from a boat in which 69 people had died. One of the boys, a 17-year-old, he said, there's a boat going on Friday. We hope to be on it. You know, because I was saying to them, maybe Allah has saved you for some reason. And that you were not meant to go on. He just brushed it off. And he was very casual about it. He said, oh, no, there's a boat going on Friday, and we hope to be on that boat. And he probably was. I haven't heard from him.
Well, let's keep hoping.
It's unfortunate.
And let's tell our youngsters.
It's a pandemic of the
Tragic is what it
21st
is.
century.
And the worst thing about people traveling through this roof, they will sit with your children and start telling them, if you get to this place, you are good. You know. Can you imagine my son, Mamadou Yahya, he knows the name of the guy that hosts Gambians.
The agent.
You know, when you get to, is it Agadez or somewhere?
Agadez.
I mean, he knows the name. I told him, any day you try it, any day you try it.
watch over Mamadou.
If you take this route, you go to this place, and when you go, Mr. This guy is going to host you for some time.
Because for those people on that side, it's a business for them, and they don't care if the people who they facilitate, whether they live or die, they still get paid because somebody pays you before they embark on the journey. It's not like when I get there I pay you. You know, you pay to be taken on the journey or to be taken to the next stop on the way, and then another. So these for them is a business.
So they don't worry whether the boat is a good one or a bad one.
They don't care.
Let them just get their money.
They get their money. They don't care.
Mr. Adedrame, thank you very much for this week's engagement.
Thank you. Pleasure.
We will do this. Julde is suffering from common cold. You too.
Mine is an uncommon cold.
Is it the weather change?
Why are you calling it a common cold?
It's uncommon.
It's an uncommon cold. I think mine is.
You see? Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Ade.
Thank you. Thank you.
We've completed this morning together, and we'll be back here again, Julde.
Next week, inshallah.
Yeah, so we'll take a short break. And after the break, then, we will continue the program. There is a book launch. The Drilled and Drolls of Africa, book launching Friday 30th January, and guest speaker is Ami Bojang Sissoho, Director of Press State House, and Abdou Koma, the author, will be on the program. We'll be back.
Gina yombale si rewi Gambia bi fi jëfandikool call bu set internet bu gaaw li yëpp si njëg bu yomba fii si QCell dawal léegi si suñ customer care bu la gën a jege ñu may la QCell line te doo si fay dara QCell network bu gën a rëy te it gën a yombale si réew mi fii QCell suñu bas ñoo xaali yoon bi ñeneen toppa.
These tracks have become my wall, my arena of victory and fear. I relentlessly walk, push, strain, and stretched. Moments when every fiber of my being screams, give up. But the fire within me won't let me quit. Despite the burning muscles, in this sport, every moment matters. Every second counts. My failures, my dreams, my pain, my triumphs, they propel me forward beyond all limits. I am Gina Mariam Basbite. And this is Sunyubus.
This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Now we are back again. Let's take a look at the other segment of this program, The Dribbles and Drolls of Africa by Abdou Koma.
Who is popularly known as the grammarian Koma. And he's a perpetual poet. And he's 24 years old.
Yeah, I'm having 24 this February.
Oh, 24.
This February. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, science student, environmental activist, media personality, and youth leader.
Born in Basending, Upper River region. You know, that's my town.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's where I hailed from, Basse. Yeah, so let's talk about this book. I mean, Mr. Koma, I think this is your second publication. You were here, so is it last year?
Last year with Jenaba Sonko.
Jenaba Sonko.
Yeah.
You were with Mr. Mboj at some point.
With Jenaba Sonko.
With Jenaba Sonko.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, let's take a look at the book. What inspired you? What really inspired you?
Thank you so very much, Mr. Balde and Julde, for the privilege. I am glad to be here once again. I think I promised Jenaba that inshallah every year I'll be publishing.
Okay.
And that's a promise I have already taken.
Oh wow.
Inshallah, and I want to fulfill that. So thank you so very much. This is my second publication, like you alluded, The Dribbles and the Drolls of Africa. Mr. Balde, you realize that Africa is at a crossroad. Yes. We are struggling mentally and morally.
Right.
As a young man who grew up in a very sad society, we have seen a lot of perils and misconduct in society. Of course, I grew up in an environment where people don't see greatness and good governance as a stepping stone. So, of course, I see Africa has been struggling with bad governance, disparity, social deception. So I was like, as a writer, what can I do to solve this? Because I hear rampantly people saying corruption, tribalism, religious bigotry, fundamentalism. So I was like, what can I do now to put this into paper and enlighten society? You realize speaking is one part of enlightening, but writing also is one part of enlightening. So I used to think that everybody have a role to play in development. It cannot be one side.
Right.
So it has always been an inspiration to change lives through my pen. So just like my first publication, The Blind Bridge of Love, which advocate for the blind people, fighting for their rights. So The Dribbles and Drolls of Africa is also fighting for the rights of citizens in Africa, to address impunity, culture of silence, and the culture of subservience. So it is it's a mirror that display that Africa can rise again and champion good leadership. It also, of course, champion the roles of women in society. You realize in Africa, most women are involved in micro enterprises. So the book outlined frameworks and laws that the government can use to develop our continent.
Interesting.
How long does it take you to come up with such a fantastic book?
Yes, this one, it takes me for these 3 years now.
3 years?
Yes, this is my first year at the University of the Gambia.
Wow.
It's still my first publication. But because it involves facts and research, you must not rust it. Okay. So I decided to spend 3 good years to 4 years to publish this second book. Yes.
So how was it like coming up with such a book? Because it's research-based, and we know how difficult it is to actually come up with facts research in this country.
Right. So it's hard, like I said, you have to read. Good writers are always good readers.
Right.
George Orwell said, if you cannot write well, then you cannot think well. And if you cannot think well, people will think for you.
Right.
And you cannot afford to live in a country where people are thinking for each other. So I spend most of my time reading and researching. Like I balance my university with writing. Related my course as a science student, currently majoring in biology. It's very hectic.
It is.
Because this book mostly is purely for those studying arts, because I have to make more research and more efforts to establish facts. Some of the facts I indicate that today Africa have 54 odd countries. You realize, in 1994, Rwanda was in genocide. But what strategies do they use now? They have one of the best airports now in the world. one of the most civilized cities in Africa. So these are all facts that you have to embark on to enlighten, so they will know the author is being involved in research. Yes, I'm also a poet. There is a poetry section, those who love poems. It also highlights very, critical, analysis on African society.
So is the book based on personal experience, things that you've gone through, that you've been seeing, or it's just an imagination?
Yes, these are facts. These are facts.
It's facts.
Of course, I also indicate some personal experiences there.
Okay.
But the 75% of the book is based on research and facts that I indicated.
So you did mention that on the first chapter of the book, you said Africa was a land of integrity.
Right.
What changed? Where did we get it wrong?
So, of course, Africa was a land of integrity. You realize before we are living in a very peaceful society, community, African elders helped to preach wisdom and bring in accountability in our domiciles. But we have lost most of our cultures because we embrace a Western lifestyle. Even in our education system, you realize we are still using a system that will never change our narratives. You are from a society where you should speak Mandinka, but you're speaking English at the school. So how do you expect to understand what you're doing? So I will always say, for us to understand and develop our nation, we need to get back to our roots. That is our cultures. So we have get it wrong because we have chasing something that is not ours. So it will be difficult to understand something that is not yours. And you must reflect back to your cultures.
Absolutely.
So you realize that I outlined that we need to get back to our cultures. Before our elders preached wisdom, there were less fights, the unity was a broad perspective. So Africa was really living in a very harmonious environment. And today we have lost it. That's right.
Not just Africa as well, but your book also, as part of this thing, chapter 3, you featured the issue of misdirected politics.
Right.
And we know politics has been a problem for this country for the longest time.
Right. Misdirected politics is a big problem in the country because what happened is that our citizens were expected to be directed in a very good way. There is sanity in politics. So what they preach to us is not what has been displayed. So we as citizens must think for ourselves and know how to direct this politics. So in the book, I highlighted how they come to societies, preach unattainable goals. How they will convince you to vote for them. But you as citizens must use your brain and think wisely and vote wisely so that our country can develop.
So why did you choose Africa as the central attention for your book? Yes.
Africa is a struggling continent, you realize, and Africa is the richest continent on earth. We have a lot of loopholes in Africa. You see, most of our resources are being exported outside. Africa have very natural resources, and we can feed ourselves. So you realize we have a lot of problems. The politics is a problem in Africa. It's only in Africa where you see even tribalism is a big factor. In the Europeans, they don't call themselves tribes, they call themselves nations. In Africa, we call ourselves tribes. If you come to the Gambia or other country, they ask you, what is your name? And your second name. Why are they asking your second name? Because they want to know which ethnic group you belong to, so they can pigeonhole you accordingly. So you realize there's a lot of problems. Africa is the bondage that we need that needs to free all these perils. That is why I use Africa as a center point. But I outline frameworks that Africa can be at the top, can be at the front line if we embrace.
How? Because it's like we lost that glory, as you mentioned in the book.
Right.
But how do we regain that lost glory in Africa?
That is to get back to where we came from.
Is that even possible?
Yeah, it's going to be hard, but we need to get where we come from. Because you realize, like I told you, we were living in a very harmonious environment. There was less fights in Africa. Peace was fundamentally in our minds. So I believe it cannot be personal. It must be everybody. It must be inclusive. Right? So if you want to blame at one side of the story, you want to blame government, you want to blame government for everything, it's going to be difficult. I also outlined that citizens have a broader perspective to play in development. So we can get it right if we all stop the fight and stay in a good flight. So what happened is that we, like I told you, our cultures is our root. Our education system have to be dismantled and relate to our cultures. So we have to connect cultures, our knowledge our cultures.
Okay.
For Africa to realize her potential.
Right. Because even yesterday, a story came on the news where the ECOWAS region is actually having plans of reintegrating or integrating traditional medicine into the national health systems, you know, in Africa, which I think it's good. Because for the longest time, we see traditional medicine as something that is not really good, or sometimes the overdose. Sometimes we tend to say that, oh, this is not good, we will not use herbs, we will not use that, and all of that. Is that something, is this the same light in which you are thinking?
This is the same light, because you realize, you know, I am a science student. I wrote articles on AMR. This is the antimicrobial resistance. So this is the global cause of death across the world. And these are all scientific medications. What result of these things is because of overdose prescriptions, lack of, you know, scientific knowledge on these medications. So you realize we have very limited knowledge in related to medicines. So I realized, of course, you talk about the traditional medicine, it has some disadvantages. That is because of the knowledge, the measurement levels and all that. So focusing on that might cause some implications. But I realized we need to get into ourselves by converging ourselves to our traditional medicines, because this can cure a lot of sicknesses. And all these medications you are seeing, let's say medicines are made in generics in India. They are all from Africa. You know, these are all these herbs. So, but we need to skill ourselves to use these scientific, these traditional medications and mount it to this Western medication. So they might not, you know, harm our body.
So
you
how?
Did mention,
okay, yes, go ahead.
You did mention the part of the book you have.
I can see
Julde
is enjoying the book. Already, Julde is loving the book.
Thank you so very much.
Poultry section, where you said, "Scary angel of death, spare my life even for a second."
Right.
This seems to be personal.
Yeah,
right?
you know, poetry is one of the most beautiful arena. It's just like how the Holy Quran. It's a very difficult language. If a poet don't explain his stanza to you, you will not understand.
You will not understand, yeah.
Right? So this one can be personal. I can read it and it can be personal. A reader can read it and it can be personal. So you read a stanza there, that scary angel of death, spare my life. So here I said I was living a very illusioned life. I was living a life that is very wrong. So I want him to give me I want him to spare me so that I can reconsider my decisions. So when you realize in life when you are living, you make a lot of mistakes. Human beings cannot go without mistakes.
True.
You make a lot of bad decisions, bad choices. So right, I know the spare angel of death cannot spare my cannot spare my life.
I was wondering how is he going to do that?
Literal sense.
So it's poetry. I know he cannot do that for me. But as someone who's reading it, you are like, okay, before this angel of death will come to me, how about let me change my way of life? These are this can be rhetorical questions. You know, they are like, it's not possible for him to spare your life, but you can change. So I said, please consider my life again. I promise to live a sumptuous life and a good way of life now before you take my life. So this tells you that, you know, you can make wrong decisions and very bad choices, but you can still reconsider and come back on your feet again before the scary angel of death will come to you. And a reader can interpret this in a different way. So that is, as a writer, that is how I interpret this.
So how do you balance your stories, criticism and hope, to make sure there is hope at the end of the tunnel?
Yes, I think criticism is, we call it constructive criticism. As writers, we embrace that. If they don't criticize you, then you have not done a good work. Yeah, so I can remember so vividly, you know, if you write, even at the University of the Gambia, I will write sometimes some articles or some poems. You will see very constructive people will criticize. You know, they criticize based on merits. We only defend our lines of arguments when it is meritful. So criticism is part of the game. I have written a lot of articles and poems, and I receive massive, you know, criticism based on meritful points. So what happened is that as the writer we write, and the public will consume. Right? So I might talk about misguided politics. You might try to personalize it to yourself. But I'm talking about a broader perspective. Right? So criticism is in short is part of the game, and we embrace it as a writer, and we take it as a strength to move on.
So which chapter of your book feels more interesting? I mean, to you, and if there is any, tell us why.
that is the era of pigeons. You know, it's poetry. Is there an era of pigeons?
Okay.
An era when dialogue turns into epilogues. You know, so this is an era where we live in even currently right now. You know, you talk more of monologues, but you don't present what you say. So this poem have highlighted a lot of root cause of bad governance.
Okay.
How, you know, politicians come to society and talk to us. Tell us, I will do this for you, but they will not do this for us. You know, they talk more and do less. So this is why I also outline a few stanza that should, you know, work for citizens to be careful on how to approach and how to consider them. So it's a very beautiful area, and I know a lot of anybody who read the work. It's very like difficult for you to consume it, because if I read the poem,
you won't understand much.
Understand much.
Yeah.
We have an era of pigeons.
Okay.
What did he mean by pigeons?
Pigeons, I mean.
What is it's a pigeon is an animal, you will say.
Pigeon is it a bird or sort of an
It's
animal?
sort of an animal.
Yeah.
So you're like, what is the poet talking about here? But you have to read to know what he is talking about. So it's an era when dialogue turns into epilogues.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
So the book launch.
Yes. Let's focus on the book
talk
launch
about the
quickly
book
before we
launch.
wrap up. Yes.
When and you know who are the invited guests, and how do we go there if you want to go there, and how do we get hold of this very interesting book? I am in love with it.
Thank you so very much. You know, I think this is already yours, inshallah.
Oh,
yeah, so
thank
the
you.
book launch is happening tomorrow.
Okay.
At Moraland.
Okay.
It has been so hard, but then alhamdulillah, we expect a lot of guest speakers, inshallah. We are inviting the public to come. It's a free event.
Okay.
Invited some schools and some organizations. Like highlighted Ami Bojan Sisaho, Sila is our chairperson of the event.
Right.
Permanent Secretary of Health, Dr. Toure, is also our guest speaker.
Okay.
And we have some international speakers from America, Dr. Yaya Cham, and economics, and from the Central Bank of the Gambia. So it's expected to happen tomorrow. And welcome. I have, you know, you are welcome, Mr. Balde.
Yes.
And
yes.
Julde. I would love to have you all in attendance.
Oh, that would be lovely. What time is the event?
Just 4 o'clock, inshallah.
4 o'clock tomorrow.
That would be tomorrow.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Motherland.
At Motherland.
So
Motherland
how has
is
it been
not,
like for you in terms of support? We know that writing books is not easy. You are university student, going to school, coming, finances and all of that, the struggle. How has it been like?
Yeah, in the Gambia, it's difficult to do this kind of events. Even the venue alone is very expensive as somebody who is going to school. You know, but you have good people everywhere. You know, alhamdulillah. The first publication was also a bit hard.
Right.
You know, financial struggle is always, you know, it's always normal.
Yeah,
you know,
it's part of the
it's
game.
part of the game.
Right.
So it makes you strong.
Right.
If it comes easy, you will not understand. You will not play. You will not play the card right.
Right.
So of course, I have some financial struggle, but alhamdulillah, I have few people. I mean, Bojan Sisaho has been very supportive to me. You know, Africell also have support me in the event. And, you know, few others, Moraland also have given me the venue for free.
Okay.
And my loved ones have been supporting me, the printing. You know, alhamdulillah, it has, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will not complain much.
Thank
But
you.
for
Are
the
we
struggle,
expecting another book?
inshallah.
Anytime soon?
Yes, next year another one inshallah will
Next
come in.
year.
Thank you, Mr. Komar,
I love
for
the
coming.
consistency.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you
so
very much.
Yeah.
And to your readers, what do you have to tell them?
Yes, thank you so very much, Mr. Balde and Julde and the whole team of QTV for the privilege. I appreciate this. So I am thanking you all for giving me this privilege. I just want to take this opportunity to, there are young writers in this country who wants to write, but because of the spirit of support, of recognition, of criticism, so they are still standing back and they don't want to do it. So as a science student, if I can do it, you can also do it.
Right.
If a young man from a very small village can write 2 books, I think you can also do it. It's all about consistency, resilience, and dedication. So that is how, that has been my mantra for the longest time.
Yes.
So I invite you all to my book launch, which is tomorrow. And at least let's come and celebrate our
And
own.
patronize, buy it.
And the book is costing $1,000.
Where can we get it?
It's not expensive.
Yes, currently not available in any website, but you can get it with me.
When they call
Where?
you.
By 333-8631.
Wow.
333-8631.
Yes, if you call,
Yeah, all should grab this
Yes.
book.
Or if you contact us, we will lace you.
if you contact Mr.
Yeah.
Balde,
Yes, we will lace you.
inshallah,
Yeah.
inshallah, you will get a copy.
The Dribbles and Drolls of Africa by Abdul Komar. Thank you very much, and we wish you a successful launching, inshallah.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, so viewers will take a short break. Then we'll be discussing the Janjanbureh past cultural festival. That's the 9th Kankurang Festival. The 3 days cultural festival held on the historic Makati Island in Janjanbureh to showcase Gambian mask culture and heritage, featuring over 20 masquerades with cultural groups on Sunday, 25th January 2026.
Transporter the only transporter in town. Nan QSL number movement 3070304. Taxi cinema. Nan wali jam. Transport.
Dama dompa sani yere gumna suma khela panuman Buma kendi lal wala dima jege if not manala ganyman li may faj mu ci xare bi le mom xam na la ma da suma system du do day mel suma khela pa sa suma
So we are back. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. Now let's move on to the last segment of this program. And Janjanbureh hosts 9th Kankurang Festival. Yeah, so we have Mohamed Jobate.
Public relations
yes, the public relation officer. Mohamed, inumbara.
Thank you very much. I'm very, very happy.
Yes. You know, what is Kankurang without speaking Mandinka?
Wallahi, the Kankurang Festival.
Yeah. What is Kankurang without speaking Mandinka?
You are missing a lot, sister, because right now it's the biggest event in the Gambia.
It is.
Yeah, it's the biggest event, you know, because Franco Miyalonko now is attracting, you know, different countries. At least this year, in fact, we are counting about 9 to 10 different countries that attended this festival. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, from America to Europe, and then some part of Africa also. Yes. So it's a huge thing. It's big and it's massive. Yeah. And then yeah.
Look at the euphoria, the environment.
Yeah, because and then for the Bajela Faranko, the visitors are just wonderful. Because ya muta mul fele, you know, ya Mexico mul ni bebe kukilen kono be kankilen kan be fango be kika. And then this year fanga fendo fonso was very, it was a surprise, and it was visitors, they decided to do their own kankurang. You know, these are white, you know.
Their own kankurang?
Yes, their own kankurang.
Oh yeah, for the first time I've seen a European kankurang.
European kankurang, you know. And the two of them, you know, they decided to, you know, join the kankurang festival, you know, which we appreciate a lot. A big thing that shows that, you know, it's going globally, and then it's big, you know. Yeah.
Going by the screen, I know that it was a very, very successful festival.
Sure.
And Fenkonying, how was it, the atmosphere, the environment, and getting Alkanying Festival also, you guys had expectations. Were you able to meet those expectations?
Thank you very much. Yeah, at least we have a lot of expectations, you know, and then also those part of those expectations, I can say that, you know, 75% have been met already, but we still have another 25% back, and that's the maybe that's the, you know, fencing of the festival ground, and probably, you know, making a podium, you know, there.
Okay.
Yeah, a big stage whereby, you know, the drummers will be up the stage, because this year we have just made a local made stage that is provided by, you know, State of Mike, and then it was just those are where the singers and the drummers.
Okay, so it was just a normal smaller stage.
Yeah, normal.
So
smaller.
you need a bigger stage.
And a station one, whereby it was going to be built, you know, like a mini kind of a mini pavilion, and then like how Banjul, where the artists.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what we want at the festival grounds.
But do you have a land?
Yes, of course.
The land
we have a cultural land specifically
I forgot
for that.
it's Makati.
Yes, we have a cultural land specifically. That's why we normally do the festival. That's the Tinyan Sita.
Okay.
Yeah, but are you making plans to actually ensure that infrastructure is in place?
We are making plans. We are, in fact, maybe next week we are trying to, you know, meet the Janjanbureh Kankiling, you know, group, and then the Janjanbureh people at diaspora, because for us we have our own plans already that we are about to make. You know, that's the, you know, starting the, you know, foundation and other things. Then from there we know we are following the government and then other stakeholders, of course. But we thought that we should start the initiative then from there, then they can come and help us in that. So this was what was the agreement that we have last week, that we need to do before our 10th edition of the Nyanyambure Kankuran Festival.
So in terms of attendance, how was it going by the previous years and this year? Because this is the 9th edition, right?
Yes.
A lot of things are expected to go right and a lot of improvements as well. So how was the attendance this year?
Wow, the attendance, was massive. Was massive, and then also I would like to thank the Gambia, Transport Service. That's the GTS.
Okay.
Corporation, for usually always helping us. If the people, they came there and they are going to Nyanyambure Kankuran Festival, they are already, always available for them to give them even extra buses, for them to make sure that they are in Nyanyambure. And then also immediately after the festival, they make sure that they station some buses there that normally take them back to their various locations. As I said, every year is getting bigger and better. That's the Nyanyambure Kankuran Festival for you.
Okay.
Every day is getting bigger and better with different masquerades, and then we make sure that we're trying to make things different, because you can see that when you look at it, because every group is having their own ashobi, and then that shows that they clearly identify themselves that this is the group, this group from this place, this group from Nyanyambure, this group from Bureng, Kombo, Greater Banjul area, the Nyomi areas. So we have the masquerades from all different parts of the country, not only Nyanyambure only itself now. Now we go countrywide.
Wow.
To bring the best, and then gather them, and then we are not saying only masquerades. So we try to infuse the cultural of most of the ethnic groups that are in the community. Yeah, because since last year, we make sure we give a special program to the Riti program, that's the fullest. We make sure that they took control of the night programs.
Okay.
Yeah, they took control of the night programs. That's the festival eve. And then from there also the parade. And then we make sure that they have a place at the festival whereby they will also showcase, they don't have the masquerades, but the culture is very, very rich.
It is.
When the fuller culture. So it's very, very rich. So we make sure we inculcate that within our programs. We have the Konyadinka Kankurans, we have the Jolas, that's the Kumpos, we have the Mandinka, Mandinka also that are different. So those are different masquerades also that we invite. We go to the Wolof side, we have the Zimbas, we go to the Gese, the Hunting, we have everything there. Any masquerade that we think that we have the Tole Kafos. So anything that we know, and this Tole
Kafos are still in existence.
Yes, of course, we have that. And then this Tole Kafo of Nyanyambure, the most beautiful thing about it is multi-diverse. It's not only one ethnic group that is in this Tole Kafo. We have the Manswangas, we have the Mandinkas, we have the Fulas, Jahangas. So these are all that are mixed up in this Tole Kafo. Each and everyone have their own culture, and they breathe and make it a unique one. That makes it. And then as what they have infrastructure at the festival ground, they are not God. But whatever they ask God to do that for them, then that normally come to pass. Yeah. So normally there are some barrel women that were there, and then they prayed for them, and they do their own incantations, give their so all these things, and then those who they have this bad spirit or evil spirit that we call disturbing them. So they make sure that they practice all those things at the festival ground. So these are things that are not only for ambience, but also for you, it's rich in culture and for you to know what our past people were doing. Yes, so this is very, very important. Yeah.
So now what? I mean, the Nyanyambure Kankuran Festival, it's 9 years. This is the 9th edition. So what? I mean, are we just going to do the festival and come back, then wait for next year? What are we doing after that?
Thank you very much. It's a very good question, Baldemana. I love that. Nyanyambure Kankuran Festival, that's the EMC Festival Committee. We are not just there for the festival or the ambience alone, but rather we are there for the community also.
Okay.
As we are speaking, the annual Novetan of the Nyanyambure football Novetan, we are the one that do the most of the contribution in, and then this settle thing, we make sure every 3-4 months we make sure the street light in Georgetown. Most of them, though there are other people that brought, but we also make sure that we bring a lot of street lights. And then the school fence and then the toilets that have been destroyed, we make sure that we erect them back and then put the toilets back. And then also the victims also that have disflowered victims, and then wings, or also we make sure that we help in rebuilding their houses and then give them clothes and other things. So these are all things that we are doing. So we are not, and then anything that the festival have, they make sure that they turn back to the Janjanbureh Kankuran Festival. That these are the issues we are having, ranging to the hospitals and then other places. That these are the issues we are having, and then we make sure that we do our quota in that.
What is your success story in terms of infrastructure development so far, that you will look back and say, oh, we are very proud that we contributed towards this?
Yeah, that's like I told you one day, that's the rehabilitation of the fences and then the toilets in general, and then also some compounds.
Those are the projects you already
did. Already.
All right. Okay.
Already.
So do you have other projects to embark on as far as this year's festival is concerned?
Yeah, the project that we are about, that's the construction of the mini stadium that I told, the mini festival ground. Yeah, right now that is our main focus, because and then we will always like to call on the partners and then donors to help us in achieving that dream, because we can't do it alone. And then if at all we say we are not that much financially strong to say that we are going to do this thing alone. The MC alone cannot do it, and then also our people in diaspora, fine, we know that we can have help from those people, but it's not going to be enough. So, and then we just, before going for it, I would like to thank the European Union through ITC, and then the Gambia government through National Center for Arts and Culture, Ministry of Tourism, and then Basic Bank, and then to Nature Friends International, for always standing by us to make sure the festival is always successful. Because, and then most so the event management committee, I'm going to thank them a lot, because we are doing all these things. We don't expect any brute from us. We do all the committee members that are in this. Some are living in the Combo, some are living in Basse, some are living in the town. But we make sure that whosoever mandates come, you make sure you do it. Even if you are going to take your own money and then do all those things. So normally we do all those things. We sacrifice our jobs to make sure that it is a success. So I would like to say a big thank you to them also. Yes, but these are our main constraints. Those are the building of this festival ground, fencing it and then building it. That's the main.
So are you thinking of introducing another thing probably in coming years? We all know Makati is surrounded by the river. Are we going to do some river cruise? Are we going to do?
Yes, even this year, we have been doing that. That depends on the people that are interested in it. Even this year, we have done boat trips around the island.
Okay.
Boat trips. We have this kayaking competition where these small boats you have, and then you have this river transport. We do all those things, but that also depends on the people that are interested in doing that. Because we don't have specific people that have said, okay, we are going to do this. But we invite people. If we want to do it, and then we do work for health. And then we normally do that on Sundays. Marathons.
Wow.
Yeah. So this year we in fact inculcate this thing, hill hiking. There's a hill around Janjanbureh. That is Sangolokunda Hill. That went down to this place. What's the name of the village again? So it's a huge hill. So we have that this thing with Peace SO Adventure. It's a very good brother and a friend that we have done this year also. And then next year we are going big. It's a 10th anniversary, and instead of 3 days now we are going to make it 5 days.
Wow.
Whereby we are going to have wrestling competitions.
That is massive.
Yeah, so it's going to be massive. We are going to have wrestling competitions.
Okay.
Different masquerades that that they are there before, but they don't have the opportunity to be. So we want to bring in all. Sometimes it's difficult. We have more than 20 different kind of masquerades, and still others are calling that they want to be part of the festival. They also want to showcase that, and they don't have the opportunity simply because of the time, factor. You need to look into all those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mohammed. Julde, do you have a final question?
Yeah, just for the festival ground.
Yeah.
What is the estimated cost?
Wow, the estimated cost. I can just probably prove, and then maybe I can say around 10 to 15 million.
Yeah. For you to complete it.
For me, yeah.
Involves a lot of
money. Okay. Yeah, a lot of cost, because erecting the pavilion for people to be sitting and all things, and then fencing of the ground. Fencing of the ground is not that much of a problem.
Yeah.
But erecting that
The
pavilion.
pavilion, yeah.
And then make sure that the festival ground is having enough sun for the other side and enough grasses also for the other side, so that the dust will not disturb.
At least a standard,
a standard one.
festival
ground.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we are aiming for.
Okay, so we are calling on philanthropists. I mean, anybody that is interested in culture. We are calling on the government, National Center for Arts and Culture. Please,
partner with.
come on, partner, support at least maybe 3 million here, 2 million, 5, put it together to support. Because the Janjanbureh Cultural Festival is one of the biggest events, cultural events
that can
in the Gambia.
No, and in fact, it brings a lot of money to the government itself. Because the coming of the tourists, the visitors.
Of course.
So now people,
Gambia.
people normally targeted the Janjanbureh Kankuran Festival, especially for them to come to the Gambia now. So you can see that it's even boosting the tourism sector also. They themselves, they said it even at the festival, the Ministry of Tourism also, they in fact said it there. Now Janjanbureh Cultural Kankuran Festival is something that is even beyond the Janjanbureh people now, because it has reached to a level whereby it is making a huge impression impact in the economic of the Gambian this thing.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, we wish you the best of luck, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
And, we'll be there next year, inshallah. Next year, Julde will be going.
Inshallah, I really want to go.
Julde
I've
and
never been there.
I would really love,
I've
I would
never
really love
been
for you
there.
guys to be.
No,
And then
next-
you told you guys are there.
Yes.
You will never want it to pass.
Next
I'll
year,
definitely
next
try.
year
Ask
you will
your
come.
Kajal and the other
Next year
those are
more.
there. You ask them.
Inshallah.
Loli
We'll be there.
Kamara, carry me with you next year.
Yeah, and then this year also, this year, we have put in this thing, a trade fair.
Yes.
That trade fair also, help us a lot. And you can see that now, instead of, the tourists going back to their hotel to go and eat, they make sure that we train people through GTHI.
Yeah.
And they do all the
Everything
things.
here.
Food.
Thank you.
It
We are
also
out of
this
time
thing.
now. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Viewers, this is all we have,
Yeah.
Julde.
Until we come your way
Next week,
for
yes.
another edition.
Bye-bye.
Inshallah.